Good evening, lads. Welcome back to a new video, and today I'm going to be talking about each Premier League club's most underrated player. Just before we get into the video, I just wanted to say that I hope everyone's staying at home and staying safe during this crazy lockdown period. If everyone follows the guidelines, then it'll all be over fairly soon. First up, at my club Arsenal, I have gone for Leno, our goalkeeper. He's got the second most amount of saves in the league this season behind Nick Pope, I think. And yeah, he's just a brilliant goalkeeper. He's saved us when we've needed him. I think in the first half of the season, really, we were playing so poorly. And he was just getting his head down, playing well. And yeah, I've gone for Leno for us. Next up, for Aston Villa, we have got a French right-back who signed from Caen in the summer, and that is Frédéric Gilbert, who has 59 clearances and 45 interceptions to his name this season. He's a very solid defensive right-back in a leaky Villa defence. So for Villa, I've got Frédéric Gilbert. Heading down to Dorset in Bournemouth, I've gone for Philip Billing. He's got the most tackles for Bournemouth this season. He's very good in the air, 59 interceptions, a very hard-working central midfielder who's a fan favourite at Dean Court. So for Bournemouth, I've gone for Philip Billing, Danish central midfielder. Moving on to another South Coast team, Brighton and Hove Albion, I've gone for Lewis Dunk. He's got over 270 appearances for Brighton. He's Brighton born and bred, Brighton captain. He spent his whole career there pretty much, other than one loan spell at Bristol City. He is a good defender who can play the ball out from the back, and I think he's a candidate to be in the England squad for next summer's Euros, if that even happens. Heading up to the Claret and Blue team in East Lancashire, I've gone for Nick Pope, the goalkeeper. He's got the most clean sheets in the league with 11 clean sheets. Of course, he's got a good defence in front of him, very well organised, well-drilled defence. And he's also got the most high claims in the league. I think he's a candidate to be in the England squad, possibly number one. It depends what people think, really. But I think he's a brilliant goalkeeper and he should be in the England squad. So for Burnley, Nick Pope. Heading down south to West London at Chelsea, I've gone for Mateo Kovacic. He's got 90% pass accuracy, 80% of his dribbles succeeded in the league. He's great on the ball for such a small midfielder as well, when you consider the really physical midfielders that you get in the Premier League, such as Fernandinho, Fabinho and Wilfred Ndidi. He's very good on the ball, can create chances, and that is why I've gone for him. I don't think he gets the credit that he deserves. I think he's a very, very underrated player. So for Chelsea, I've gone for Mateo Kovacic. Heading down to another London team at Crystal Palace, I've gone for Vicente Huayta, the goalkeeper. He's fifth in the league for most high claims, 88 saves, 9 clean sheets. He is a good goalkeeper for Palace, and I don't think he gets the credit he deserves. So for Crystal Palace, I've got Vicente Huayta, a Spanish goalkeeper. Going up north to the blue side of Merseyside at Everton, I've gone for Brazilian winger Richarlison. Richarlison has scored 10 goals this season, which is good for a winger, and also before mid-March as well, but because the season's been stopped for coronavirus, he hasn't been able to play any games since then. And he's also scored 13 goals last season, decent stats for a winger again. He's also very quick, a good dribbler, and I think he can go very, very far in his career. So for Everton, I've got Richarlison. Going on to another blue team, but in the East Midlands, this time at Leicester, I've gone for Jamie Vardy. The guy's the top goal scorer in the league at about 32, 33 years old. Since that league-winning season, he's reached double figures every season. He's scored some very important goals for England over the years. I think the guy's criminally underrated. A very good striker at Leicester, Jamie Vardy. Going back up to Merseyside, but the red side of Merseyside this time, Liverpool, I've gone for Wijnaldum. He's got 91% pass accuracy, a fairly powerful player for somebody his size, a regular in the Dutch squad. He is a real fan's favourite at Anfield, and I think he's quite underrated. He's also very workmanlike as well. He's not really technically gifted, but he does a great job in the middle of the park, so that is why I've gone for him. At Liverpool, Wijnaldum. Going over to Manchester, but the blue side this time, I've gone for Fernandinho. He signed in 2013, I think, from a Russian team, I think it was. Or was it Shakhtar? I don't know. He has played in a few different positions this season. He's had to also play at right back, I think, before during his time at Manchester City. But he's played at centre back a few times this season to cover the injured Aymeric Laporte, who was injured earlier this season. He is very, very strong, and Manchester City need to make sure that their replacement Rodri is going to be as good as him, because he is a very key player, and once he leaves, he will be missed a lot at City. So for City, I've got Fernandinho. Swapping sides of Manchester to the red side at Manchester United at Old Trafford, I've gone for Brazilian midfielder Fred. He's bounced back really well from a difficult first season in Manchester. Many people had written him off, saying waste of money. 52 million, it was quite a lot from Shakhtar, but he's bounced back really, really well this season. He's got the second most amount of passes at Manchester United, 87% passing accuracy, and a United fan that I know said that he's the first name on the team sheet for him. So for Manchester United, I've got Fred. Heading up north to Tyneside now at Newcastle, I've gone for Slovakian goalkeeper Martin Dubravka. He really has saved Newcastle at times this season. He's kept 9 clean sheets. He has the most saves, more than any goalkeeper in the Premier League this season. He's a very, very good goalkeeper. Doesn't get the credit he deserves. Very underrated, and that is why I am putting him as the most underrated player at Newcastle. So for Newcastle, Martin Dubravka. Heading down to Norfolk at Norwich City, there is only one player I could have picked here, and that is 23-year-old attacking midfielder Emiliano Buendia. He has created 80 chances this season. He's third in the league for most through balls this season. He's created double the chances that Mesut Ozil has, who's on 350 grand a week. Raul Sanllehi and Vinay, you need to sign this guy up for Arsenal. We really, really need this guy. So for Norwich, I've got Emi Buendia. Going up to Yorkshire, Sheffield United, newly promoted, having a great, great season. And this one was a really, really difficult pick. I could have gone for Ender Stevens. I could have gone for Lundstrom, Basham. But I've gone for John Fleck. He scored 5 goals this season, was a key figure in getting them promoted from the Championship. And he has scored some very, very important goals for Sheffield United this season. So at Sheffield United, I've gone for Scottish central midfielder John Fleck. Going back down to the south coast now at Southampton. Now this one was a fairly hard pick. I had to choose between Danny Ings or Pierre-Emil Højbjerg, the Danish central midfielder, but I have gone for Danny Ings because he's having a great season this season. 15 goals this season. Before, he hasn't really done much, sort of been a bit meh. But he's been really, really good this season, and he's got an outside chance for an England call-up. Gareth Southgate, you should be watching this guy. He's been great this season for Southampton. So for Southampton, I've got Danny Ings. Heading up to North London to our local rivals, Tottenham Hotspur, I've gone for Moussa Sissoko, French midfielder. He's very, very hard-working. He's powerful on the ball, tough tackling, and he's a very underrated player at Tottenham. He's the spine of their midfield, and they've really, really missed him when he's been out of the team this season. They've not had a great season after reaching the Champions League final last season. So for Tottenham, I've gone for Moussa Sissoko. Taking a short journey up to Hertfordshire at Vicarage Road at Watford, I've gone for French midfielder Etienne Capoue. He was rejected by Tottenham, let go and sent to Watford after they got promoted from the Championship. He's been around for a while, but he never really gets spoken about. But he's a decent player for Watford. He's popped up with 61 interceptions, 82% passing accuracy this season for Watford. An underrated player, and I think he's a decent player. So for Watford, Etienne Capoue. Now, on to the East End of London, the Claret and Blue team of London, West Ham United. This one's a difficult pick because I don't think any of their players have been really that great. They've had a really poor season this season, West Ham. But one player I will go for is Pablo Fornals, Spanish midfielder who signed from Villarreal in the summer. He's popped up with the odd goal and assist this season. He's very hard-working. He's 24, so he's still fairly young, and he could do great things in his career if he makes the right career choices. So for West Ham, I've got Pablo Fornals. Heading up to the West Midlands now at Wolverhampton Wanderers, the final Premier League club in this list, and I've gone for a central midfielder who rarely gets spoken about, and his name is João Moutinho, Portuguese midfielder, former Monaco player. He's got a very, very good eye for a pass. He's got 6 assists this season. He creates lots of chances, and he's a player who rarely gets spoken about, which is really bizarre because he's a very, very talented player. Fairly old as well, maybe that's a reason why, but João Moutinho is very, very underrated. So for Wolves, João Moutinho. Anyway guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Please make sure to subscribe and smash that like button down below. And if you disagree, leave your comments below. Thanks for watching. Goodbye. I'll be back with more content.